Don't mind the sizzling in the background. Got some dinner cooking. Well, I don't. My girlfriend does. I just wanted to talk to you a little bit because the playoffs have begun. They started last weekend, and we were able to win the first game. And I thought it would be a shame if I went through these entire playoffs without sharing some thoughts, sharing my process just a little bit. Obviously, I want to stay in the same zone that I've been in and not switch my routine up too much. But just giving you some small insights will actually help me along the process to becoming a champion, as this series is going to be called. And this is what we have ahead of us. Currently, we're in the first round. There are 16 teams. After this round, there will be 8 teams. Next round, 4. And then there will be 2 teams in the championship. The 2 teams that make it to the finals move up to the next league. We're playing in the second league, second division currently. So if we make it to the championship, we'll be promoted to second league, first division. Every series is going to be a best of 3 series until you get to the championship. Then it's 2 games, and whoever has the most points in those 2 games wins and becomes champion. I've been playing professionally for 7 years and have not won a championship yet. I made it to the state championship in high school and lost. I won some AAU tournaments, several AAU tournaments and championships, but nothing of this magnitude. And this year we're the 2nd seed. We're in a good rhythm, so it'll be a great opportunity for me to work on becoming a champion. And obviously, becoming a champion didn't start now, but there are some steps that we can take to make that outcome even more likely. So I'm just gonna be turning this camera on throughout the process, as different challenges arise, as different thoughts and insights arise. And by the end of this month of games, we should have a nice little series of videos that I can look back on, and hopefully you can take a few things from too. Tomorrow's game day, and this morning we were in the gym, got some shots up out of specific situations that I'm going to be seeing on the court. There's a specific offense that coach wants us to be running a lot more this game, and we haven't been running it much lately. So I went in, brushed up on my reads, brushed up on the different options out of the different situations. And there was a moment where I was missing a lot more than I wanted to, and I could have ended the session there, was supposed to end the session there, but I decided to go back at it one more time, and I ended up breezing through the drill and ending on a really high note. So I'm feeling good, and we got one more team practice tonight where we'll be focused on brushing up the last little mistakes from the last game and taking the next steps forward for the rest of the playoffs. For me personally, until practice, I got a little bit of downtime, and I'm gonna use that to do some meditation. This has been my first season working with a mental coach, shout out Dr. Rosie, and she just sent me a custom meditation that I'm gonna be listening to every other day probably. She gave me one earlier in the season, so I'm gonna kind of flip between those. I'll probably listen to both on game day, honestly, but I like to kind of flip in between the 2. They have different focuses, but both are going to be super helpful. And obviously this isn't going to be one of those series where I'm like recording myself meditating and doing all that. I feel like I can't stay present or stay focused when I'm doing that. That's also why I'm not recording every single workout. I might throw some clips in every now and then because I do think it is helpful to record some workouts. I like watching workouts back and seeing how I'm moving or how I'm shooting or just different things I can work on, but doing that every single day, it's not my style. Doesn't mean it can't be your style or anybody else's style. It's just not my personal style. A lot of this series is going to be me talking you through my mind and different decisions that I'm making, different steps that I'm taking, rather than this typical day in the life showing you everything, which might be visually a little less exciting, but is actually probably going to help you more in the long run if you're looking to use this as inspiration. And if you're looking for just some entertainment around the game of basketball, hopefully I'm entertaining enough. If not, find somebody who's doing all the extra stuff. That's completely fine as well. There's plenty of options. That's just what this series is going to be about. Me focusing my mind on becoming a champion. It's game day, and something we've started doing the last month, 2 months, has been going for a little walk and just talking about where I need to be mentally for the game, things that I'm looking to focus on, and what situations I want to be more aggressive. Just the different keys to success that, if I keep in mind, will put me in a great position to not only perform well, but also walk out of the gym a winner. And that's every basketball player or athlete knows. At the end of the day, however you play, yeah, it's cool. It's cool to play well, but winning is 80% of playing well. So these walks have been vital for me to help my team win and stay focused on what's important and let all of the fears and doubts and insecurities go. Because most of the time it's not about, oh, are we going to win this game? Yeah, sometimes. But most of the time it's like, oh, am I going to perform well? So I'm kind of getting out of the I-focused, me-focused frame of mind and thinking about what do I need to do to be effective so my team can be effective has been really helpful this year, and it's what's helped me to really have fun with this process and just enjoy. It's playoff time. This is the biggest stage of the season, and this is where you want to perform at your best. But all of the work that took place a year ago is now coming to the forefront. It's not work that we're doing now. Yeah, you're still working now. You're still staying consistent in your process. But I always compare it to NBA 2K. When the game starts, you can't change your ratings. You can't make your 2K player better. You got to do the most with what you have. And I think accepting that and understanding that, like, you're not going to all of a sudden change how good you are in the middle of a game. No, it's always work that you already put in. So yeah, this series is called Becoming a Champion, but truthfully, I feel like I became a champion last summer. And now we're just living through the events that make that real. But I won't become a champion in a month. The last game of the season, the championship game, is literally 1 month from today. But that's not where I become a champion. Part of it is still happening now, but 98% of it has happened in the months that came before. So the work that we're putting in now, that's for future championships as well. We're building the foundation for the next one while we're experiencing the current one. I don't know if that makes sense, but just understand it takes a lot of pressure off if you know you've already prepared months or years for something instead of trying to like cram for a test. If you've been paying attention in class all year and writing your notes and studying your notes a little bit every single day, then the night before the exam, yeah, you look over your notes, but you don't feel like you have to just absorb the entire curriculum at once. You know the information. You just need to review it and make sure you're confident in it and maybe clean up any gaps in your knowledge. You don't have to start learning the night before the test. And that's how I feel. That's how I feel. The sun's shining. I'm out here in a t-shirt, shorts. Got someone who's just as excited, which makes me even more excited. So yeah, we're gonna enjoy this and probably catch up with you after the game. Maybe I'll give the camera to Matea if she has any insights or impressions that she can give. She'll be locked into the game, so she might forget, but I'll give her the camera. She's gonna be on the fan bus heading to Dresden to watch us hopefully get the sweep and head on to the next round. Yeah, I don't know what you're gonna see next. Should be good.
I'm on the bus.
Yeah, wow. She did an incredible job. Even got a couple of buckets on there of mine. And I think she was able to capture the fans that traveled with us so nicely. There were 2 charter buses full of fans that drove around 3 hours, maybe even a little bit longer than 3 hours to come watch us play, which is just awesome. And that's what makes this time of year the time of year that everybody works for. Everybody wants to play their best at this time because of stuff like that. People just taking time out of their day, out of their week to travel and plan their day around watching us play the game of basketball. That is so special. And I'm just glad we were able to deliver and get the win. A little bit about the game. Obviously, you saw some clips, but just context, we were pretty dominant in the first half. It looked like we were going to run away with it. And in the third quarter, we hit a major dry spell. I was in foul trouble, so I didn't play much in the second or third quarters. And a close to 30-point lead got cut to 10 going into the fourth. Their crowd was on fire. They wanted to see another game in the series, but we were able to pull it together. I was able to hit a pretty clutch shot. Let's throw that in there. Yeah, it was a good night for me. It was a good night for me, aside from only being able to play 17 minutes out of 40 due to me being in foul trouble. For those of you who aren't so basketball adept, you're only allowed to have 5 fouls in the game, and I had 3 fouls in the first half of the game. So my coach, for strategy reasons, decided not to play me so much so that in the important phases of the game, I would still be available. And for my mental focus, it was an interesting test because I started off pretty hot. I was scoring the ball well, and then I get yanked out of the game because of something that's out of my control. There's another person deciding whether or not the contact or sometimes lack of contact was a foul or not. And you can decide to get caught up into it and get angry and take yourself out of the game. Or you can take it for what it is, understand that it's not what you would have chosen, but you also can't change it. And the only thing you can do is influence the future that's happening right in front of you. So thankfully, I was able to do that. And I think practicing meditation, spending so much time in the gym as well, and just knowing that, okay, I can sit on the sideline for 15, 20 minutes and still feel confident in what I'm able to do. Those things are major anchors that are going to have us holding the trophy up at the end of this thing. So definitely going to be continuing to just put in those extra reps, mentally and physically. I always say it's the hours where no one is watching that are going to determine the hours where everyone is watching. And today was no different. Today was a day of obviously mental rest and recovery. We got back home pretty late, but that doesn't mean just sitting around on the couch. We went out for a pretty long walk. There was some great weather, so we took advantage of that, got some sunlight. And then, even though it would have been the comfortable choice to stay at home and watch some Netflix, we got up and went to the gym to get a recovery lift in. Here are some clips. And I said this on Instagram, but I'll say it here again. I'm so glad and so proud that I made the decision to do that. This has been something that over the years I've pushed off. Yeah, okay, I can go without the recovery. As long as I'm getting my work in and my body doesn't feel too terrible, then I don't have to worry about the recovery. But if you want to become a champion, if you want to see what is truly possible for you, you have to exhaust all of the options. That doesn't mean overtrain. That doesn't mean overstress yourself, but it does mean when you don't feel like doing something and you know it's the best thing for you in that moment, that's when you have to lock in and get it done. And today, we got it done once again. And that's why I am so confident in this journey. We're in the quarterfinals now. We're playing against a team that I'm quite familiar with. I've played against them several times in my career. So that's going to be a lot of fun. It's a team that I think we match up with really well. They're, I think, the oldest team in the league, and we're one of the younger teams in the league. They want to play slow. We want to play fast. I think it's going to be fun for our fans to watch. It's going to be fun for us to play in. Thursday is the next home game. Can't wait. So excited for this. It's Sunday. No, it's not Sunday. It's Saturday. So during the playoff time, the game schedule gets kind of compressed. Normally we play 1 game a week. Now we're playing 2 to 3 games a week, depending on how the series goes. So this past game was on Friday. Today is Saturday. Normally our games are on Saturdays and the off days on Sunday. So everything's kind of, like I said, compressed. Tomorrow, Sunday, we're back to practice with the team, locked in on a new opponent, getting ready to put on a show for our home fans. This is something 1 year ago I had my mind and my thoughts set on. It's what I was training for, preparing for, so I can really sit back and enjoy this process. I don't have to spend time doubting. Of course, some random thoughts and doubts and negative energy is going to come in, but I'm able to reset so much more quickly thanks to the work that I'm doing on the court and off the court. And this is the series to see and hear that continued work. So if you're enjoying this series, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button, drop a comment, and tell me your thoughts. And I'll see you in the next series. Playoff series, basketball series, not video series, or video series, depending on if you do a deep dive on the channel. I'll leave that up to you. Oh yeah, and always remember, the best is yet to come.